Alright, so welcome to my incredibly jank recording setup, as I'm currently recording from the very echoey floor of my lounge room. I do apologise for that, it's just I wasn't exactly expecting to be recording this late in the evening. It just turns out that Resonator was way easier to learn than I thought it was. I thought I'd have to play a few times against the AI and maybe have to record tomorrow before sort of taking it onto the ranked ladder and playing against some actual players, but after playing against the AI a singular time, I was like, this deck isn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. Then I took it onto the ranked ladder, and yeah, this deck kind of slaps. Basically, the first iteration I had for the deck turned out to be sort of the best way I wanted to play it, so I'm like, let's just make a video about it. So here's today's deck list. Now, if you enjoyed today's video and want to see some more content just like this, especially some more new box deck lists, I'm going to have a whole bunch out over the upcoming week, please remember to leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel. Alright, let's jump into this deck list. So basically, this might not be the absolute best way to play the archetype yet, but turns out just my first build for it, or my first thoughts around it, just turned out to be really accurate. There doesn't seem to be much I need to improve about the deck. I'm thinking because this deck has so many starters for it, you can definitely go over 30 cards, or over 20 cards. So if you want to play like a bunch of effect veilers in here, or a bunch of other trap cards, or maybe not trap cards as you fill up your back row quite easily with this, but maybe some tech cards to clear back row easily, or maybe some extra hand traps or something. Feel free to stick in whatever you like, considering this deck has, well, 9 starters. You have 3 copies of your Soul Resonator, 3 copies of your Crimson Gaia, and 3 copies of your Resonator Cool, all of which will end on your main combo line and do your full combo, so if you want to play some effect veilers, go right ahead. Also, I was wondering if maybe cards like Wandering King Wildwind might do some work in this deck, considering if you do open some of your combo pieces, you have often got a lot of room to search for other cards, which currently I don't really have any extra extendery pieces in here right now, so maybe there's room for other cards in here. Definitely room for experimentation, but for now, this is what I worked with, and this is what you're going to be seeing in the video. Alright, so the deck list is pretty simple. 3 copies of all your main searches, starting off with your Soul Resonator, normal summon it, search for a card from your deck list, typically searching for your Dragon Archfiend. This card can discard a card to special summon itself to the field, and then change the level of monster on your field, and send a card from your deck to the graveyard, which is normally going to be your Crimson Resonator, a card you've probably seen before. When you special summon into the field, summons 2 more tuners from the deck list, which is going to be the 2 copies of these cards, one of which can special summon itself from the hand, and the other, when it goes to the graveyard, can add this card to your hand. Also, when this card goes to the graveyard, it searches for a card that mentions Red Dragon Archfiend. You'll see it during the gameplay portion anyway. If anything that confused you, don't worry about it. Alright, then we have your spell card. This thing, when you activate it, just searches for a card that mentions Red Dragon Archfiend from your deck list, typically searching for your Soul Resonator. You can also search for your Fiendish Golem, which is also Disruption. It can banish a card on the field until the next end phase if it has 2,000 or more attack. You'll see it plenty of times in the gameplay. And yeah, then we have your hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. This card's an Omni Negate. Put him on the field, can just negate anything your opponent tries to activate. Literally an Omni Negate, actually a crazy card. And I think that's it for the new stuff. Oh no, we have your Scarred Dragon Archfiend. This thing, when it's on the field, basically when you Synchro Summon using it, you can summon out a copy of your Red Dragon Archfiend straight from the extra deck. So if you got this guy on the field, got like another Synchro, a tuner monster on the field, go into a bigger Synchro, you get to summon out a free level 8 from the extra deck to go into further Synchro climbing or whatever else. And this also basically works if your opponent tries to remove this with anything. It will still just summon a big RDA from your extra deck, which you'll see in the gameplay as well. So it's a bit of a sticky monster that your opponent doesn't really want to remove. You'll see plenty of stuff with this. Also, when you Synchro Summon using it, it nukes your opponent's field as well. It's a really crazy card. Anyway, let's try out some gameplay for this, because I'm sick of talking with this really scuffed setup, so let me show you some gameplay. So I didn't play many replays with this, or many games with this, just because I didn't really need to. After the first 5 games or 6 games I played with the deck list, I already had the replays I wanted to show you guys, so yeah, let's just jump straight into it. So I think this was actually the very first time I played the deck. I just recorded that replay because it was already a really good replay. It might be the replay after this that was the first time, because I recorded in the wrong order, but you'll see anyway. Alright, so up against, I think this was Star Seraph, I believe. Alright, so starting off with your Soul Resonator, which is your main searcher. And this is what I mean by when I said earlier with the deck list portion, that there might be room to add other cards in this deck list to search for in case you already have your starter pieces. Because I already have my Bone Archfiend, so what do I search for here? I don't know, maybe something that's good to discard. I'm thinking Wild Wind is good to search for here, if this card can even search Wild Wind. I assume it can, it's just a level 4 lower fiend. So maybe Wild Wind is a good addition to this deck? Not sure. But anyway, summon this card, reduce the level, sending a copy of your Crimson Resonator to the graveyard, making your Red Rising, summons it back. Crimson Resonator then summons 2 from the deck. These two become your scarred Dragon Archfiend. Vision Resonator adds your Crimson Gaia to hand. Now, this could also straight up add your trap card to hand. There is situations where you will want to do that, because otherwise you're going to have to send this to the graveyard anyway, because you need to fill up your back row with 3 slots. I'll talk about that in a future replay anyway. Alright, summoning this card straight to the field with the 8 and the 1. Resonate, add back to level 2. Level 2 summons itself to the field. This card just puts itself on the field because we just used our boy. Alright. Oh god, not the shitty tail effect. It's so much smaller than in the card art. Why is the tail so much smaller? Anyway, summoning out your Red Nova Dragon. And because Red Nova's on the field, we can now just grab a Fiendish Chain straight from the deck list. Alright, using your Crimson Gaia to search for the other trap card. And there is your end field. You've got a Negate, you've got a Banish of a 2000 or higher attack monster, and you've got an Omni Negate, and you've got a big-ass guy that can't be destroyed by card effects, and something else is you've got this little dude in here. I think it's this one that has the... If your card on your field is destroyed, you can just banish this to protect your stuff from being destroyed, so... Also really good as well. You'll see that in a future replay also. Alright. So he puts his Star Seraph Scout on the field. I think this guy could have actually summoned that thing that can't be responded to or something. I don't know why he went for this line of play, but... Try to summon an Exciton Knight. We could just negate that so we don't give a shit. Gonna save the Omni Negate to absolute last, because obviously Omni Negate is the best... Yeah, the best effect we've got. Gonna negate this so he doesn't get his special summon. Wasn't sure if he could play any further with this, so we just sort of did that. Gets a Star Seraph on the field, but we know what's going to happen as soon as he tries to do anything. He's just going to get Fiendish Golemed. Tries to make this dude, and he gets banished. Alright. So nice little replay to start off. Don't think I particularly played that perfectly, but hopefully you get a good understanding of just with a 1-card combo, I've ended on 3 Disruption. And that's not even sort of the best end field for this. If you open a tech card as well, which you'll see in some of these replays, where I just open Red Rain, it is really good. Alright, I think I actually misplayed quite a lot on this one. This one was actually the first game I played with the deck. I just recorded in the, I saved the replay in the wrong order. So, one big misplay I had with this is I didn't discard the Red Rain with the Bone Archfiend a second. Because discarding Red Rain, this card can just bring itself back from the graveyard. So it's a perfect discard for your combo. So Soul Resonator, searching for another Bone Archfiend. Bone Archfiend should have discarded the Red Rain. You'll see that in other replays anyway. Red Rising going to be reviving. This summons the 2 tuners. Making the Scarred. Vision searching the Crimson Gaia. Making the Abyss. Resonator going to be summoning the, adding back to hand. Making the Red Dragon. Every time I see this animation, I'm telling you, this little tail here, it is not matching to the actual animation. Look how tiny it is. Anyway. Special summoning this, making a Red Nova Dragon. Crimson Gaia searching for the Fiendish Golem. And here's where I mentioned earlier in the last replay that it's not always best to search the Crimson Gaia, because searching it here actually didn't make much sense because... Yeah, I had 3 slots filled up and I still need to put Fiendish Chain on the field. You can sort of fix that by using the skill to put it in the graveyard and bring out a level 8 from the extra deck, but it's probably best to save this skill for when you need it, as it's pretty similar to how Hero can just summon out the big dude from their deck list that destroys the field. You can do that in this deck list just with Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend. You can just put this on the field by sending a card from hand and one from field. I just sort of used it here to clear up a zone so I can get a Fiendish Chain on field. Alright, let's see if our opponent can play through this. So he's playing Wind Witch with a very fancy looking Ice Spell. I think I just sort of let him play for a while, because I don't think he's going to play through just about anything here. He can just summon whatever he wants, I'm just going to nuke the field if I need to. Because of course, we've got Red Rain is such a powerful card. It's kind of weird in this deck, Red Rain, because it banishes, obviously, your stuff as well. But it does make your stuff unaffected. So Fiendish Golem, I'm going to banish his card. I honestly could have just let him summon everything he wants and then just use Red Rain. And then just Fiendish Golem my own card to bring it back later. But I thought I'd just let him try to summon as much as he wants. Maybe save the Red Rain if I can. Because Red Rain's also a really powerful effect on the opponent's turn, or on your own... Yeah, on your turn when the turn passes back, because you can make your monster unaffected by your opponent's stuff. Which is really good when you got a 5,000 attack monster on field. Alright, summon the Diamond Bell, we're just going to Fiendish Chain that. I thought he was going to make the level 9 from here, but I guess he just knew what would happen if he tried to. Red Rain, banish the whole field, and yeah, he's just dead. Alright, on to replay number 3. So that was my very first game playing with the deck, and although I misplayed a whole bunch, you see sort of the absurdity of some of the fields you can put up with this. I'm pretty sure once people have actually figured out like the best ways to play this, it'll probably be tiered. The thing that might keep it back from being tiered is hand traps, as things like DD Crow and Effect Veiler do seem really strong against this. So maybe things like Saravis can be ended up put in this deck list if the skill doesn't lock you out of using Saravis. But yeah, it seems really good. So this is an example of going second. I'm going to show you what I mean by you sort of have that hero level skill where you can put that dude on field that just sort of nukes the field. You can do that with this deck as well. So I'll fast forward this guy a little bit as you've seen Hero 6 million times now, I'm sure. This guy definitely didn't play correctly with his disruptions too. He just didn't know what to disrupt with this deck, which to be fair, it's brand new, so who knows. So he goes to pop this. I could have used the skill to put a Fiendish Chain on field to potentially negate this, but I'm not sure if I can actually even use the skill when I've got the Fiendish Chain in hand. Let me actually check. Because, oh, you can't just set it from hand. So I actually could have put the Fiendish Chain on the field here to prevent this thing popping this card. I actually didn't think you'd even use this card to pop this, but you could put the Fiendish Chain on the field, flip it up, negate this right at the start of the game, because that's just what this skill does. So keep that in mind. I don't think I actually have any other going second replays I show, but yeah, you could have Fiendish Chained it here. So Soul Resonator searching to level 4. Level 4 putting the dude on field. These two become the Red Rising. Red Rising going to be going back the Tuner from Grave, bringing back the Red Rain that we discarded. Bringing out the 2 Tuners. He definitely should have disrupted me at some point here, shouldn't have let me just do this full combo. Alright, he's now going to Super Poly to get this off the field. I don't know why you would, considering when it goes to the graveyard, it still brings out the dude from the extra deck. Alright. Draws a couple of cards. We're still going to summon out the Red Dragon Archfiend from extra though. These two are making the Abyss, so we've got an Omni Negate on the field now. Alright, and now you see me using the skill, putting a card in the graveyard to immediately put this card onto the field. I could have done this at any time. If I had the continuous spell on the field and a card in hand, I could have just sent the continuous spell to the graveyard after using its search effect, sent a card from hand to graveyard, and then just putting this thing straight on the field. And this thing, it just nukes all special summon monsters, so... Well, special summon monsters with attack less than or equal to it, which includes my Tuner, by the way, but I can protect it in a moment. So Abyss going to be negating this, so it can now be destroyed by, actually, it could already have been destroyed. Oh no, because it's too much attack. So it's making this attack reduction, so it's equal to this, so I can nuke it. Resonator to defend my Tuner from destruction. Nuke in the field. These two to make a Bane. Setting 3, and even with the Hello Life Barrier, what's he going to do? Look at my field. Yeah, so honestly, I didn't even play this game particularly well, I don't think, but yeah, this deck, you can obviously get a good understanding of just how broken some of the things this skill can do. I'm so impressed by the fact that it can just put, similar to how Hero puts the big dude on field, we can also just put a big dude on field and nuke the field. I think that's going to be a really insane thing to go second with. I do wonder how good this deck's going to be going second, especially with like, it depends on how many, because you can just play a bunch of tech cards, right? So if you just play a bunch of Effect Veilers, I'm not sure you want to play too much back row, considering if you're playing Red Rain, you're filling up your back row very, very easily. So hand traps do seem really good, though. especially Veiler. So this might be a 3 times Veiler deck, not sure. We'll have to do some more testing. Alright, Soul Resonator searching for my Bone. Bone are going to be discarding the Red Rain. I wonder if Serapis is playable in this deck. I'm not sure if the skill locks you or not, because Serapis would deal with Effect Veilers. Because here, if I got Effect Veilered, I would have been screwed. Although, even if I got Effect Veilered, I could have even, because I had Red Rain, I could actually use the skill to send a card to Graveyard, send this to Graveyard, and set 2 Red Rain, and still had a level 8 on field, which is kind of interesting. Red Rain's such a powerful card, man. Nuking the whole field and making your card unaffected, and it continuously recycles itself. Such a busted card. Only downside is it nukes your own field, of course. I'm not going to say it again. I'm not going to mention this guy's incredibly shitty tail. Did the budget just run out when they got to the tail part of this card, or what? Anyway. Making your red Nova Dragon. Alright, setting the dude, setting the 2 back row, and passing. Up against Dino. So Misk being activated means I now cannot respond or can't deal with any of his monsters on field. They're all completely unaffected. So my Omni Negate is now purely for whatever spell cards he tries to use. So I can't negate any of this, can't disrupt any of this, just have to let him play the game. Which is also interesting considering I have a card that does that as well. I can make this card completely unaffected by anything he tries to do. So, a bit interesting. We've kind of both got an effect going on. Not going to negate his Fossil Dig. Basically, I'm just planning to negate the Evo Pill if I can. Oh, this is so busted. So use the skill, turns this into a dinosaur monster, places Oviraptor on the field, and this card, by the way, it's been missed, so it's unaffected by everything. So I can't do anything about this, and he can try to pop this. Thankfully, I have a card to protect it from being destroyed, which he kind of forgot about. So I have Soul Resonator and Grave. But if you're playing a deck that doesn't have sort of immunities like this is like such a busted combo. You just miss, your opponent can't respond to this. It's pretty similar to the Predaplant, where you just put a token, tribute it, and they can't do anything about it. You can't do anything about this, it's just going to happen. At least there's some sort of like response window, so maybe you could just, I don't know, something. Alright. So he does a whole bunch of stuff, makes an IP for some reason, and as soon as he uses the spell card, we negate that. One negate and he was done. Yeah, Dinosaur, I think when Dinosaur is figured out completely, it's going to be busted. It's going to take a while to figure out, like, what's the exact best way to set that deck up. So I'm not 100% sure what the best way is yet, but once it is fully figured out, it's going to be crazy. Just activating Misk and making your big boss monster unaffected if you get it on the field is nuts. Not every deck is an Omni Negate like this one did. Like, surely this new box, or even the selection box with IP is going to be enough to shake up the meta. There's no way. There's so many good cards released. Alright, so I should have saved some more going second replays, but it's fine. You already saw that good replay versus Hero. There's a lot of cool stuff this deck can do. Alright, Red Rising, once again going to be reviving, discarding the Red Rain, so just add back to hand. I do think Red Rain's probably a 3-of in this deck, just because it's such a good discard target. Even if it's not searchable, it's such a good discard target. Also, just making your 5,000 5 attack monster unaffected by card effects is also pretty good. Like, even when you're against Hero and they super play like your Abyss or something, even if they summon whatever they can to the field, every single card they possibly can, you just activate Red Rain, your big dude is unaffected, and no matter what they do after that, well, they can't get rid of your monster, so you're just sort of fine. Like, they can't actually kill you. They can set stuff for the next turn, so maybe they can sort of set up a way to deal with you then, but I think that's already, like, a big upside for this deck. I swear, the tail's even longer during the early portion of this animation. I just don't know why at the end of it they cut the tail short. I think I'm the only person on the planet that complains so heavily about that animation. Look how good it looks in the card art though, it's so long. A little pointy bit on the end. Anyway. Alright. So I don't know what this deck actually does. I know it has some like pendulum-y stuff and some fusion-y stuff, and I'm just waiting for something interesting to happen. I negate this. I'm not sure if this was a correct negate in the end. I thought this was going to be more of a pendulum deck, but it turns out this is more of a fusion deck. This is the fusion spell card, so maybe I should be negating the fusion spells, not the search spells. Because I'm pretty sure this skill can put the Dark Contract on the field that pops cards on field, but we have the protection obviously here, but it grabs the fusion spell. Immediately fusion summons out a High King Genghis. Necro Slime's going to be fusion summoning from Graveyard, summon the Beowulf. I'm now going to Red Rain, delete the field, tries to negate it with a Fiendish Chain, and it's all gone. Oh, also, I forgot to do it here, but I could use the cool thing here. I could use Fiendish Golem to banish my own Hot Red, because it brings it back during the next end phase anyway. So I could have banished this to dodge my own Red Rain, nuke the field, and then I could have brought it back later. I forgot to do it here, but my opponent just conceded anyway, I'm pretty sure. Everything got nuked. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. There'll be plenty more content from the latest box and the selection box over the upcoming days. So if you want to see those, remember to subscribe, like, all that kind of stuff. Also, probably streaming a few of these decks as well, if I can remember to. So yeah, remember to do that, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, hope to see you next one. And yeah, laters.